Okay. Good morning, good evening, good day, good night, all that fun stuff. All right, let's see here. Why is this not... Need to do a small adjustment here. All right, that should be a bit better. Hopefully, it doesn't sound like garbage again. So I had that problem last time. Oh, and stand by. Got a couple seconds to test things. That off early. Let's see how this sounds on the actual stream. Oh, it sounds fine. Okay, good. And then I need to fix my camera now. I had to deactivate in order to figure that out. Oh. Put back on. Perfect. Excellent. Very good, very good. Okay, so today I'm not entirely certain as to what exactly it is that I'm gonna make. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I'm thinking something either between writing down some history for the races, so that you'll have a better idea of like what their involvement is in the world, or continuing with the regions. I think the regions is gonna be a little bit more important. But we can kind of pick and choose where we want to go today. This was not put in the fridge, and it is extremely flat. Extremely flat. Okay. So, we've got the Grave Barons and Soul Methus kind of dealt with. Where do we want to go next? Let's see. So, this one's done, and this one's done. For the most part. Let's go to... Let's go to a different one of these two islands here. You know what, since we already mentioned it a little bit before, let's do the Felon Dynasty. So what's so broken? This here. This is broken. All of this. You see how many pieces this is in? Look at all these islands. Hey, Monarch. All right. Where do you guys think, since the two of you are here, where do you two think we should go? We've already got the Grave Barons and Soul Methus kind of written out in a simple manner. Where should we go after that? We've already done the Grave Barons. The Grave Barons and Soul Methus are the two that we did already. Wingdom? Okay, we can do Wingdom. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Alright. We'll do Wingdom then. Big one here is going to be developing the city of Dran, obviously. plan to have certain two characters to be from. Fair enough, fair enough. Alright, so in that case, we need Wingdom open. And then we need to have a folder in here. We're going to make a folder. Where's folder? Make new folder. Wingdom. And then we're going to add a note, new note. And this is going to be underscore drop space. Have this open. Alright, so let's see here. So we need to have the ice block peaks. We have the city of Dran, cloud level, core level, and the steelworks level. We need all those, obviously. We have the chasm keepers, and the mountain carvers. And I think that's everything. Yep. All right. So we have a bunch of stuff for this one already. That's kind of on the side already to be made. We're just gonna move all this in here. I'm going through Uni accommodations right now, and I think I've settled on one, but I need to get the bus into Uni. Ah, fair enough. Hopefully that's going well. Into a mirror world, and I was right. I know the thing that I like a lot. Don't screw with me. I need the noise removal on my microphone. I don't think is actually working too well. I was listening to it a little bit earlier. Oh, noise suppression. Okay. I need to see if I can download a thing for that later. Let's see here. Okay, good. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff to screw around with, so we can leave this here. We're gonna move the ice block peaks to here, because that's a location. So how did I do? I think I just did like basic notes on most of these, like just bullet point stuff. Yeah. Okay, I thought so. So we're gonna do one drop space, do this. Changed all this. Get rid of this. You should be fine. Yeah, fair enough. Alright. Cheers, Maury. Have yourself a good day. Probably talk to you a little bit later. Yeah, you'll get into the uni. Don't worry about it. You got it. Okay, so let's start with the number of cities. There is, in fact, only one city. in all of Wingdom, and that is the city of Duran. Is it on this side? It is on this side. That is. There we go. Fixed. Alrighty. Towns. How many towns is there? Oh. Not sure why my camera freaked out for a second there. That was weird. Not a lot. Mostly, there'd be a few towns, but there'd be a ton of villages. You know what? Let's not do that yet. Let's just like do the actual stuff. Okay. So we already have a fair bit of stuff on each of these in the area and all these other things here. So we have the tribes of the chasm keepers, of those who work the winds. So these are the people that live near the surfaces. And then there's the mountain carvers, which use the old strongholds. Fortresses constructed their homes, live underground, while they don't fade or dread. Okay. But one in particular is interesting me. Only issue is that the college is like 1 to 2 hours away. Yeah, that's a little bit rough. So in your case, halfway across the country. Meanwhile, over here, 3 hours, a 3-hour drive will get me from like literally the other side of the country. Ah, fair enough. Meanwhile, over here, like 3 hours is driving from like, you traveled a little bit of the country on the highway. Canada's so goddamn huge. All right. And then there's the others. Partner exiled by tries to hide in the mountain depths. Okay, so we also need to put in another note. Yeah, but that's just kind of how Europe is in general, right? Like Europe is just, you can travel for an hour and be in like 5 different countries or something like that, and depending upon where you are, like just because of the way that the Europe is kind of set up between peoples. Meanwhile, Canada, like province the size of 2 countries. Okay. So, let's go to we got a new note here that we need to make, and this is going to be for the others. Slap this in here. Okay. Put all of these in here. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. I want it to be, there we go. There we go. And then get rid of this one. All right. Actually, no, we're not gonna do that. I'm just wasting time with that. Okay. So, in the city of Dran, most of this is already explained pretty well in here. But let's break this down a little bit further. So, cloud level, core level, steelworks level. So we actually don't need individual things for this, I don't think, at this time. Other than, actually, let's go to Soul Methods where we have Mount Genesis. And it's just like, yeah, just some basic quick footnotes for it. I should have another town or something like that somewhere. I don't think I have that one. No, I don't have those developed in the Great Barrens. Okay, that's fine. All right, we're gonna close all these except for this one. Go to Dran. All right. Floating city. That's not how you spell floating. That has exclusive information on ship tech. Is of not little, lesser. Villages of lesser city. The delay when I count my laptop is like 10 seconds. Jeez. That's crazy.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right. What else? Has little regard or concern it comes to alignment and races. Nah, alignment has little regard or concern when it comes to alignment. Wealth and power are all that most care about. That describes the city of Dran by and large fairly well. Chasm Keepers. My memory serves, Chasm Keepers are the people that are on the surface. People that live the surface. Idiot. Live on the surface and on the surface and just inside the live on the surface. No, and in surface. And surface level caves. Caves. And other shelters. Not actually tribal in nature. Yeah, not actually tribal in nature. Very rely on no. To maintain and produce and to maintain and produce the land. Maintain and cultivate. Effectively with Dran. On the regular. Ice blocked peaks. Walnut and wool. Does not completely the south side of the region. No. Mountain on the south side of the region. Keeps the blight of Maledictra out of Wingdom. There's 2 spaces there. Oh. That's an endless storm. Through it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Mountain carvers. If my memory serves, I have the mountain carvers as more like the miners. Those that delve into the mountain. Well, not exclusively dwarves. Or majorly. Exclusively or majorly dwarves. They act much like them. Always exploring. Mining and trade their, not best things, their findings with what is it? The Chasm Keepers for food. They're more like a faction than they are a society. I'm gonna do the others real quick here. I'm not a proper faction. Not a proper faction. Catch-all term that that isn't in a tribe or the city. Have markings on them. No, I'm not gonna do that. Of as outsiders. About as diverse as the in the archipelago. This is basically just other random people that live there. generally assumed to not have a proper home. Okay. I think I'm gonna put... How do I want to do this? I think I want to put the steelworks, the core, and the cloud levels inside of Dran itself. Core level. The steelworks level. And then we'll just get rid of these. It's a little bit better if I do it this way. Alright, so I want to make sure I don't get these wrong here. No, I don't want to do that. Get rid of that, get rid of that. There we go. Okay, 3 main levels. The cloud level is where all the wealthiest and most influential live. Owner of ports, fleets, and leaders of large companies and houses that grant influence of the island. Okay. So. Where all the wealthy live. Owners of large business, ships. Did I have one more thing? Oh, not ships, fleets. Fleets, yeah, fleets. Fleets, ports. As well as business fleets, ports. Now, where did I have the... Yeah. The steel... Steel Wind Strikers. Yeah, just a second. Are based. What's up? Ugh. said. Okay. This does need to be. It does need to have that though, because this does go in here. So that is a faction. Okay.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful. Primary control of critical vehicle functions.
That is not what I wanted.
Liftoff of mission 41D, first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Discovery Houston, trim to ATO.
Okay. The core level is the property that's lower than the uppermost levels, but not covered by other buildings. This is effectively middle-class business owners, single ship owners, value practitioners, and craftsmen and inventors. Okay, so what are we making? So we're currently working on the city of Dran, which is a flying city. I have been told, based off my descriptions of it, that to tell people to think BioShock Infinite. So small practices, single ships. In hull tower balloons. And it's basically saying hull tower balloons. I don't know what that is. Oh, and hot air balloons. Okay, jeez. Reading that, having that as one word just completely messed with me. I couldn't read it. Okay. Small practices, ships, artisans. That's fine. Artisans. And I just had like basically the middle class, right? Craftsmen, practitioners, inventors. Oh, inventors. Okay. Most guild owners. Power struggles. Are at the political level. Political level. So here's the question: does the city fly because of tech, or does the island fly and on the city on it? Tech versus nature. It is tech based. It is utilizing airship based technology. It's basically if you take airship based technology and scale it up as far as it can go. In terms of scope. Most guilds. So I had like that may have been me, but actually, it's been doing some weird stuff the last little while. Like it's trying to keep up with something that's like something's not working quite correctly. Oh gosh, what the hell? I know something that might help a little bit. That might help a little bit. That might help a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It is technology based. It's going off the idea that if you take airship technology and push it as far as you can, it can. Most guilds are at this level. Very cutthroat. For as much as possible. In attempts to get to the cloud level. Sivam? Something rather. Greetings and salutations. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good day today. Steelworks. The Undercity. How did I describe the steelworks in here? Is everything that is hidden from the sky under the city. The underside of the city is home not to criminals per se, but the working class. I say many honest people looking to make what they can through the life in the sky. All right, the Undercity. All right, the Undercity. Not only the working class. All right, we got ads in 30 seconds here. So I'll take that opportunity to go to the bathroom real quick. While our friends over on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Twitch, get you know, screwed over by Bezos.
Greetings, traveler.
Yeah, thank you very much for the follow over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Greetings and salutations. All right, we got ads. Okay. I have returned. Let's see if we can get the camera turned back on here. It's being difficult. There we go. There we go. Fixed. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that took a little longer than expected. Okay. What do you understand of an undercity? If you take notes from BioShock 2, the city was constantly moving. So, I never actually played BioShock. It is on my to-play list. Like, it is on my to-stream playlist because I saw a little bit of the first one. And I like the very first, like, I want to say the first maybe like 20 minutes to half an hour. I can't even remember how much of it I actually saw. And I was watching like, oh, this is just Half-Life. Like this is literally a Half-Life style game. Like this is a me game. I'm going to not watch this any further and then play this later. So I actually know nothing about BioShock in general. I've just been told that I should describe this place a lot like BioShock to people because a lot of people will understand that based off of how I've described it to someone who's a bit of a BioShock nut. So I'll take their word for it. But it's supposed to be very steampunkish in its kind of like its aesthetic and nature. Is a gene horror game? Even better. So yeah, it's basically Half-Life then, because that's kind of what Half-Life is. Okay. Let's see here. What do you understand of Undercity? The idea of the Undercity is that it's like where the lower mix of Half-Life and Resident Evil. Perfect. Perfect. It's right up my alley then. I will definitely enjoy. I will definitely enjoy then whenever I happen to get to it. Because I don't think this computer can handle me streaming it. But yeah, I saw its basic framework of like kind of how the gameplay loop sort of works. I'm just like, oh, this is a me game. I'm going to play this later. Let's see here. The Undercity home's not only the working class, but also most criminal bodies. Let's see here. I had to recollect my thoughts for a minute there. The first BioShock simple flattens you with the ending, but everything else is a spoiler. Okay. Yeah, I've been told that the twist, like the twist of the story is right at the end. Like the big twist is right at the end. So I'm like, okay, cool. So as long as nobody spoils that, I'll be fine then, for the most part. But yeah, that's on my to-play list. I have a very long to-play list. I also have the entire Legends of Heroes series to play, because a buddy of mine that loves RPGs has recommended it to me. And I've looked at the magic system it has, which is kind of like the materia system from Final Fantasy VII, but like a million times better. It's like if you take that idea and actually develop it into something more than just slot this in, you get this thing. It's way more elaborate than that. And it's like, it's actually kind of nuts. And I love it. Okay. What else do I have here for the steelworks? Oh. Does not see the sky. Does not see the sky at all. Do I want to have any, like, problematic gases or anything like that? I kind of want to make it that way. Yeah. Small amount of pollutants. Are prevalent in the air. Are prevalent. Not just in the air or anything, just prevalent. There we go. What you understand about Bioshock is that both games wanted to create utopia, ended up in dystopia. Yeah, as all utopias tend to end up. And the reason for that, and I don't remember which philosopher it was, but there was a philosopher that said that if you ever end up in a case of which all that we have to concern ourselves with is to eat cake and the procreation and the continuation of the species, you will not find a situation in which that there will be someone that would be looking for a hammer faster to break something. Was basically a cyberpunk gang war. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Okay, that's all I really need for Dram for now. Alright, Steel One Strikers. I don't want to say militaristic, I want to say mercenary. Can't spell mercenary for the life of me. There we go. Mercenary guild. Blades for hire. There we go. Blades for hire. The city of Dram. In the city of Dram. Focus on a mobile, on an extremely mobile, melee fighting style that works well in open places. Works in open places. Generally act in the best, in the interest of whomever offers them the most coin. Uses specific would tight spaces not be better, jumping in and down walls and wall times behind corners? It's so yes, it's one of those things that it's... I should actually say, rather than open places, open sky. The point of it working well in tight spaces would be a thing that is just a consequence of that, but the design was so that it could work in open sky. So these are the kinds of people that are willing to just jump off of an airship to fight something and then jump back on after they've dealt like a couple of hits to the thing. So whether that's a flying creature, another ship, or otherwise. Being able to do things in tight spaces, such as like having, you know, like a means of mobility that you don't have to utilize your legs for example, or being able to just maneuver walls extremely quickly, that is going to be a consequence of this technology. Thief Guild and Monk Trample. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be anything specific class-wise or anything like that. It's just more of a thing of like, oh, I'm just putting notes here for myself. So it's like, hey, how do these guys move and fight? It's like, oh, they move and fight like this. This is generally how they operate. This is what they're known for. There's plenty of individuals that are probably more juggernaut-oriented and specialize in protecting specific things on a more localized location. But this is kind of like the big thing that they are known for. File style that works well in open sky uses specific type of magical tech. Uses a specific type of magical tech that to quote fly. Always answers to no, they don't have honor. This is a honorless city. Let's see here. There is nothing I need from members at this time. Also, I forgot about something very important, which I forgot to open up the game. Where is Wingdom? On here. Burned suit. So, what do I need anything specific for this? This is the wealthy elite, the middle class, and the workers. Naturally, how one is treated depending on the status they have. Recently, disaster has befallen someone from the core district, and for one reason or another, any attempts to get aid from the authorities or anyone for that matter has landed on deaf ears. Fire has broken out in the core district, and it's suspected that the owner of the property that was damaged that foul play property. What is this sentence? And is suspected by the owner of the property that was damaged. There we go. Jeez. That was damaged. That foul play is afoot. The local authorities have seemingly turned a blind eye to this, calling it an accident. The owner of a tailoring business, which is now Ash, has sought out some experts to find out what had really happened. That players come to the core district of the city with knowledge of where they need to go, and are being employed to figure out whom is responsible for the fire and what things that can be met. Get this mad justice, man justice. There we go. How does the fly tech function? Not the details, but does it simply create something lighter than air? Is it basically a giant flying property with the ships hanging on it? Alchemical. If you mean like airship tech, then it's alchemical engines. It is specifically technology. Like alchemical is like magic, but it's alchemical in nature, so it's technically a technology. It is a technology that is not limited to spellcasting or magical items. So the reason that matters is that because this means that if somebody produces a giant anti-magic field, it doesn't just fall out of the city, or the city just doesn't fall out of the sky. Because that was always the biggest problem with flying ships before. Could be ruining engraved planks. That also wouldn't work because if you end up with a form of magical suppression, the runes would stop working. So the big basis for it is that this only exists. This only exists because people were confident enough in the alchemical aspect of it, and it could be upscaled heavily enough through alchemical processes so that it could be built. Because if it wasn't alchemical, it requires too much work from too few people to make it viable to run as a city. I shot down my player's airship. It was fun. I have, in fact, made people fall out of the sky in the past, yes. I did do this in 5th edition, where I did, in fact, counterspell a feather fall. And I warned them not to. I mean, yeah. That'll do it. Ballistics are enough to bring down an airship. It's true. Airships are, by their nature, I would say, unless it's magic, magic has its own rules, but I would say that airships, by their very nature, generally are not very sturdy. And there's a good, and my argument for that, anybody that says otherwise, I'm like, you have to get this thing into the air. Like, you're going to try and find every way you can to reduce the amount of weight it's carrying. It is generally for transport, not for war. Like, I know Final Fantasy likes to run the idea that airships are bulky and tough and can handle quite a beating. And sure, there's room for that, but that is like a very heavy advancement on the technology. Again, magic gets to break the rules, and that's why it's fantastic, because it's magic. But that's, yeah. How dare you warn your players? It's true. You should have actually just let them fuck around and find out. Well, I suppose they did, I guess. They did get shot out of the sky. Same. I presume that my ability to narrate things is not sufficient to give proper context of context of what is happening in my head. So I try to just be direct and say, listen, if you do this, the odds of you getting out of this in one piece are not great. In case I haven't made myself clear. Entry the caves surrounded by corpses. Yeah, that... Sometimes people just don't care. Weird. Okay. I let them roll on intelligence. That's not a bad idea. The thing is that I think it's just because you're intelligent does not mean that you are not prone to stupid ideas. So, because there's a thing called, what is it called? Is a trash stat for most players. Yeah, because there's zero incentive to take it, unless you're an int-based class, where every single other stat there's an incentive to take it. With the exception of strength because of how good dexterity is. But what was it? There was a thing I was gonna say. The thing is that there is a thing called, I believe it's called what is it? The Nobel effect? Something like that. That's called a wizard. Artificer is also intelligence based, and technically the certain subclasses, but yeah. Yeah. There's a thing called the Nobel effect, which is basically after somebody, maybe it's not the Nobel. What is it? You can also use it for spellcasting. Yeah, like certain subclasses can, but the Artificer and the Wizard are the only two that really use it. Blood Hunter is technically homebrew or third party, but a lot of people do use it. So I don't remember. So it's not the Nobel effect, but there is it's sort of like that. But whenever somebody gets like the massive what's it called? Basically gets a massive award for something that's intelligence based. So that would be like for a form of research or something like that. The big thing that that happens is that they end up they tend to get inside their own head, and a lot of things that are outside of their field of expertise, they get very very prideful of their own ideas, and it'll be things that they have that they're nowhere near like correct on. The biggest thing, for example, I'm trying to remember who it was. There was someone that won a Nobel Prize that for research in microbiology or something like that, and what ended up happening is that they were also a person that believed that the Earth was flat, and like a couple of other like really wild things. It's just like because like they don't actually know things outside of their own field, but they think that they do because they won a prize saying, "Oh, I'm extremely intelligent." Never watched. How would you handle a fight that players are 90% going to lose? Setup is very important for that. You have to basically present this thing as a thing that is really outclassing them. The players will probably try anyways, and depending upon your style of table and style of GMing, what you do from there, it's a Dracolich. So there's two ways you can do this. You can have them fight something that is effectively a minion, or at highest a lieutenant of this thing. So like something that is like obviously powerful and obviously dangerous, but clearly significantly less dangerous than the Dracolich, and have them fight that. And after they've, burned through half of their resources fighting this one thing, or even in some cases more, then they have to try and figure out a way to fight this thing. It's just discretion becomes a bit more of an option to players at that point. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember that a lot of players are just gonna try because they want. They're gonna just go and push the button because they want to push a button. So, yeah, like there's a lot of difficulties with that. The best thing you do is put the players in a position where they're already kind of in a bad spot, like resource wise, and then have them. Yeah, this is one of those things with a leveling. If they're veteran players and it looks like it's something that's obviously more terrifying than they should be able to handle because they've handled something that looks significantly less powerful and it kind of bodied them a little bit, like it gave them a struggle, and this thing is clearly way more powerful than that, then you're going to be in a position where they may take the hint. Sometimes you kind of just have to say it outright, though, unfortunately, because at the end of the day, people that are playing a game are going to want to just press buttons. Yeah, I see them. Yeah, exactly. There's a very good chance that this thing will probably just ignore them unless they pose as an actual problem or threat. You could also do another thing, which is you can put them in a position where if it has a breath weapon, for example, you can just hit them with a breath weapon that... Oh, okay, well that's annoying. I think we're back. Disconnected for a minute there. That was annoying. But yeah, basically you got to put the players in a position where it looks like it's the worst idea to try and take things on. And if they're considering fighting it, you go, listen, you guys are playing with something very dangerous here. Your odds of success are next to 0. Because sometimes you just have to outright say it. To go along with that, though, the other thing is, I think I already said this earlier, and I have a bad habit of repeating myself, but one of the things that you have to remember is that players, if they see a button, they're going to push a button. Regardless of what that button is dressed up as. So, like, a good example of this was, I had someone ask me, and I think it was Nano, but, ask me, how do you stretch out session time? And my answer is just put a chest underwater. Yeah, like that is, like, again, this is dependent, what you do is going to be highly dependent upon your style as well. Right, it's just like, how much do you lean on fuck around and find out? And how... This is one of those things that kind of drives me a little up the wall, is... There's a difference between taking risks and taking unnecessary risks, and people that are usually really, really attached to their players will often also take really unnecessary risks and then wonder why they are bleeding from the ears 5 minutes later. Like, you gotta be able to, you gotta take risks, obviously. Without the threat of death, things are not worth doing, but there are just some cases like the Draco Lich where it's like, yeah. Yeah, that can be enough for some tables. It may not be enough. It depends upon the personality of players and characters. Again, this is one of those things, like, there's a lot of context that is specific to the people at the table that I just don't have anything to draw on, so I can only give general advice. That was your initial warning? Yeah. So, again, putting your players in a position where them taking another fight against something that is more powerful than the last thing that they just fought is a good way to temper their their ambitions. Okay. When in doubt, new character time. Yeah, I mean, if that's the kind of table that you have, then awesome. The thing about 5e is that 5e, it's not that it's hard to kill characters, but it's very easy to not kill characters in 5th edition because of the way that death rules work. So it can be very easy to give your players a very stiff warning, and then just leave them to try and pick up the pieces and scramble away. Okay. Members, we don't need that. Drop space. Okay, let's take a look here. The city population in this case is actually well over 100,000, so it's probably closer to not over 100,000 actually, probably closer to like 80,000, 80-ish thousand. Villages, there is a ton of these effectively. I want to say somewhere around the 30 mark. Towns, what did I have for Soul Methus in all this? 60 or so villages. There you have a lot of villages. Wingdom is much less populated. It's probably closer to like 45-ish, so I'll say 40 villages. Towns are kind of like the de facto version of cities in this area because they're much smaller populated. Let's say something along the lines of probably closer to like 20. I need a calculator. All right, so we have 40 times 600. 24,000. And then we have 20 times approximately 6,000. 120. Plus 80, so about 200,000 people. Okay. Yep. About 200,000 people. Awesome. Factions, we have Steelwind Strikers. We have Gran. We need a couple of more factions. There's a thieves there's like a criminal faction. We need a criminal faction name. I don't have anything designed for it right now. Let's get the name. Let's go name generator. Gang. Let's see, gang or clans or guilds. Sorry, let's do gang or clans for this one. The alligators. Deadeyes, the unseen, onyx slicers, violet gorillas. Proband, purgatory, men of the night, the little blue roses. Actually, I like that, the blue roses. I'll be right back. Coffee's hitting me.
Apparently, I'm still at peak.
Okay, let's see here. I don't want to do Blue Roses, though. That doesn't sound like a good, proper criminal organization in a floating city of alchemical gases and steel. Snakes, Azure Angels, Anarchist Chainsaws. Chainsaws. Interesting. Liberated. Interesting. For tribes, Reaper Riders. There's the Anonymous. Ooh, actually. We could go with the Faceless. Oops. And then we need one more major faction. I guess we can also do it like it'd be like the council style. So what's the like people at the top? And this is actually just strictly inside the city of Dram. We haven't even gotten outside of the city yet. I guess there's technically the this would be regional, but these are the main factions that people are going to be interacting with. So the ones I need right now are City of Dran, because the game starts in there. Mostly takes place in it, honestly. So there needs to be one more major faction, which is going to be the political leaders. So I guess I could call it the council, but I don't want to call it the council per se. Oh, good. Name generator has council names. Justice Bronze, Broad, Council of Independence, Council Nocturnal, Conclave, Ocean Congression, Phantom Board.
Don't.
Something flying or air-oriented, maybe, or sky. I don't want to do like the Azure board. I don't really want to do that. Let me think here. Well, I'll come back to that. All right. Crime ring that ring in the city of Dran. In city of Dran. Focus on exploiting I love good criminal enterprises. The Sahirim are my favorite. I have no idea what that's even from. I don't think I'm even saying that right. The Zentarum? What is that even from? On exploiting locals is based D&D. Oh, so it's like the Forgotten Realms or something like that. Okay. I used to know a ton, but like it just like any kind of information that's in my head just leaks out leaks out my ears. I can't retain it. I just can't. So I have to make notes on everything. Exploring locals just enough to keep them loyal. Association of Forgotten Rooms. Okay, fair enough. Faceless could be unseen. They are homeless children that work as infirm couriers. Keep them local. Leader is unknown. Is unknown. Leader's identity is unknown to almost all. Parts of the faces could be let me think here. To get Mass Effect antidote in. To get a Mass Effect antidote. Pacifics could be unseen. The unseen. They are homeless children that. Yeah, that's one idea. Sorry, reference. It's fine. I don't know Mass Effect either. I played a bunch. I didn't play a lot of like the really big games. There's anything that was on Xbox I didn't play either. So there's like a very large span of time where I didn't really play a whole lot of stuff. Mostly because I just was generally uninterested in a lot of it. Mass Effect also just doesn't really look like a kind of game that I'd be interested in general. Oh. Like, I enjoy a good space game and everything, but I was like, it was kind of like space horror, space tension horror. I was just like, yeah, I'm not really into that. I guess horror is not really a good word. It's more like a thriller. Main goal is to disrupt the higher levels in order make their own lives better. Keep them loyal. Identities I know to almost all. There's way more I can do on this, but that's just like all I really need for the basic starting points. The political faction, like the higher ups, because right now we have the higher ups and then we have the military. I guess I could make the Steel One Strikers technically the higher ups, but because whoever controls them kind of controls the main arm of the city, the main violent arm of the city, I should say. But then I would need to make a third faction of some kind. Because you need to have 3 players involved in anything. two major and then one kind of like in the middle that can be moved around to facilitate the story needs. Like Arcane did that really, really well, right? Because you have the main council and all their fat stuff from Piltover. You have I can't even remember his name for the life of me right now, but Zon, what is effectively just Zon, and their movements, and then you have the what is effectively the middle ground of everybody else in between, which is like the insurrectionists, I guess is the best way you can put it. Cisco, yeah. One really well written villain, by the way. Villain? Antagonist. Really good antagonist is a better way of putting it. He's not really a villain. But yeah, really, really good series. I was very happy I finally got around to watching it. They did a good job of setting that up, because you have what is effectively like the random pockets of people that want to try, that are just trying to kind of like not be in getting to try to not be caught in the crossfire constantly on whichever, whether that's residents of Piltor or residents of Zon. He's a villain, and in the matter of fact, he is akin to a lot of parents in his decisions. This is true, but this depends on how you define villain, because villain is, so when you're talking in a story context, villains are the is the enemy of the main hero protagonist. Whereas that can also be, but that's, and it's specifically hero protagonist is a better way of putting villain. So a villain is not really a good term. No, villain is specifically in reference to hero, if my memory serves. So I guess you could say technically he does fit that, but in either case, the thing is that there is no really main hero protagonist in Arcane. So it's difficult for me to say evil to get his goals. This depends how you define evil at that point, because unless you have an objective definition for that, it doesn't work. And a lot of people will say that it's subjective. I agree with you, by the way. But in either case, whether he's like villain or not, well, the Bible has one. This is true. But what semantics on that aside, he is a fantastic antagonist to the story, like to the main cast of the story that we're kind of looking to, you know, try and follow, that we're kind of rooting for, right? That's one form. That's one form of evil, yeah. It has many forms. Like, you could make the argument that everything he is doing is not entirely out of the spite of evil, but rather just utilizing evil for ends of good, which is that he wants his own nation where people can actually just live. Because it's not that he doesn't care, right? Because you can think about his relationship with Jinx, right? His relationship with Jinx is that he is like, whether or not he is a good person is besides the point. He tries his best to be a good father. Because he actually loves her, right? Like, he genuinely loves her, like a daughter, right? He keeps his little pieces of graffiti, her pieces of graffiti, like in his business room where he does all kinds of terrible, horrible things. He keeps a mug with her graffiti on it, right? Where this is like the last place that it should be, but it's there. Well, even as caretaker, exactly. Like, you can argue the semantics of it, but the fact of the matter is, like, those are aspects that are present. But yeah, very well written story overall, in my opinion. There's a few things I kind of take a little bit of issue with here and there, but overall, I'd say it's very good. Okay, but we need a third. So back to the task at hand, however, because I am running out of time. Name for the political faction for the upper levels, which is basically a collection of business owners. Like it's literally just a collection of the richest people. Let me think here. Can't use coin lords because that's already used in Gildan. How's this place called that builds ships? Or what is the place called that builds ships? I'm not sure I understand. Like it would just be a shipyard. Although there wouldn't be a shipyard to build ships per se, there'd be one to repair. Hyjarts. Hyjarts. The Hyarts? Oh. Okay, the Hyarchs. That's actually not bad. No, I don't want to. Back. Maybe. Make sure I'm actually spelling things correctly here. And head by holy. Okay, yes. There's actually a form of Hyarchs. What if I did this? That how you'd spell it? Hierarchies. Hmm. Uh, don't. Person. It's not a proper. That hierarch. Is that not an actual word? I guess it's not.
Yeah.
Sure, what's up?
What do you
Okay. There's actually a level of of irony to this, because hierarchies are to usually revert to something in the form of like of holy, right? Something like the church. Archon, there we go. Hierarchon. The Hierarchons, there we go. Change this to this. There we go. Is it fixed? It's fixed, okay. The Hierarchons. Which basically means the holy rulers, which is a form of irony. Because they are anything but religious. Of the 5, 6. 5. No, you need odds. 7 largest. 7. Yeah. Deny of religion is also a belief. I agree. The reason it's ironic is because in Wingdom there is a thing that I'll go over this real quick. There's a thing that's very, very funny about this, is that in Wingdom, Engineer, welcome. There is a origin benefit called the Unsworn. Here we go. Which I need to change how this is phrased a little bit to make it a little bit more clear for D&D purposes. But specifically when acting an anthema to your chosen deity, you are able to like shrug off curses that would normally plague you. So basically, you're able to kind of act in opposition to your deity's tenets to a minor degree and not be punished for it. Or if you would receive punishment, your punishments are lesser because of the fact of the way that the culture works. Like, this is a very specific thing to this area. Do you need help? Not particularly. I'm actually just about to finish up, unfortunately, because I gotta get going to work soon. So I'm just putting down the last couple of notes on the idea that I have for, like, the political faction in this place, and then I'm actually going to be shutting it down for the day, unfortunately. Most wealthy people. To be fair, it's strange. You have real divinity that are active in your world. Why don't they believe in even one god? People are strange. People are agnostic in the modern era, even, right? So there's a whole, like, people are like that. People will come up with any explanation they can too. Like, and this is true for everything and anything. Some multiple these people. This funds controls the local guard. Act sort of like a governing body. Most all dealings with foreign powers. Foreign powers is actually incorrect. With other regions. Most all dealings with other regions is on a individual level. It's on an individual level. All right. There we go. Yeah, the main purpose of this is so that if someone wants to play like a paladin that's really loose on their oath, or wants to be a little bit on the loose side with their oath, they can do that. It's meant to be a little bit more like I'm actively religious, but I don't really care what my god says, which is a very weird and strange way of approaching it. It's an idea that I have there as an option for people to explore if they want to explore it, and that's the main reason it's there. Okay, it is 1:45. I am 15 minutes past my usual time. I want to get this last piece done. I call it heresy. Yeah, most would. Most would. And other members of the church that are outside of Wingdom would also call it heresy, which is the best part. Again, it lets you explore the idea. Thanks for streaming. Thank you for swinging by. Really appreciate it. Same goes to everybody else that swung by and hung out. And, yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you very much to, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name particularly well, but Svima, 2006. Thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate it greatly. And I will try to be back tomorrow. We'll see how see how things go. And yeah, until next time, guys. Once again, really appreciate it. Have a good day.